I think from a business perspective, when I think of Andy, I really think about how successful and stable Blue Cross and Blue Shield has been, not just for our community, but really for the whole state. And that takes a really special kind of man to be able to manage all that in what has been a less than stable health kind of environment. So I think Andy's leadership skills and his ability to persevere through difficult times and keep his team working in that way is truly remarkable.
He's done a phenomenal job with that organization. We stay in close contact with him. He's done great things for the healthcare industry, obviously, interested in Kansans' health.
Just the fact that he was able to work his way up the ranks in administration with Blue Cross and Blue Shield and reach the very top notch and was successful there. Just an outstanding individual, and I'm sure it'd been easy to work for.
Well, you learned right away that Andy was someone you could trust. And you learned that when he told you something, you could take it to the bank. During periods of rapid medical inflation, and sometimes Andy had to deliver news that our premiums are going to go up double digits. That was not a very pleasant task for Andy. But Andy always did it in such a way as to help us try to control it as best we could, try to do a better job on claims administration, but mainly to make certain that the people, the families, the children, people with cancer, people with heart attacks, people with heart transplants, all up and down the gamut, that all of them had dependable coverage. Now has spent 18 years with Pat Roberts. Andy Corbin is a man that Pat Roberts believes and relies on and depends on, and as a matter of fact, for counsel and guidance.
Well, healthcare has been the defining issue, if you will, in Washington, D.C. the last several years, and Blue Cross and Blue Shield, whether they wanted to or not, was on the cutting edge of that issue and helping us move forward. And I've really relied on Andy as someone that I could call and get, honest feedback, someone who's in the trenches in the industry. Well, Andy has been so involved in the community. I know he was involved in Meals on Wheels, United Way. He's involved with a local, Go Topeka. He's somebody that understands in order to make this community better, you have to step up and be involved.
There aren't always those people who are very business focused that also truly understand that part of a company's success comes from how they and their employees and their team get involved in the community. He is passionate about helping people understand what real servant leadership means and what it means to get engaged in your community. And sometimes you can look at Andy and think, he's such a serious guy, right? He's all intense and he doesn't really smile a whole lot all the time. And then all of a sudden you realize that inside there, he has a wicked sense of humor and he has an unbelievably generous heart. He is a really funny man. And I love the fact that humor is part of his leadership style. He interjects humor in such a way that I think it makes going through some difficult times a whole lot easier. Obviously, we are always really good stewards of our donor dollars. And yet, as we were growing and expanding, we needed things internally. And I think the thing that I remember Andy telling me is he said, Miriam, there's always multiple ways to get to town. There is not just one way to approach a problem. That if we can all think together and all come at it from our different areas of expertise, we will come up with a solution that will be beneficial for everyone.
I think he really had a lot of balance in his life. I know he loves farming. I know he has several acres here and has a lot of cattle. Prides himself in working with his cattle. And many times we think of a CEO that is around farm work is not typical, but he's very typical. I happen to be raised on a farm, and so we have a lot of good discussions around that subject. He spends a lot of time out there, and when he has free time, which is not too often.
I think Andy's like maybe too many of us. I think his hobby is his work. I think probably Blue Cross Blue Shield of Kansas is his hobby. All the time we worked with Andy, with meetings regularly and frequently, I learned very quickly that he and Robin are a team. He and Robin support each other, help each other. They're partners in everything they do.
She's such a beautiful lady and works extremely well for us, and was always at Andy's side when they come to events. And I just saw him as a great family man, and that's what it takes to be a successful businessman.